welcome everybody to the Anything Else podcast, Regina edition. We are on tour for this episode, so that's cool. Yeah. I'm Alex Lintz, your host, because Dallas didn't jump down my fucking throat on this episode and actually let me say it. So to my right, I got my producer and best buddy, Dallas Outsider.
Hello, I'm Dallas Outsider.
And then to my left, I got
and to his left is
what?
Uh-huh.
Fuck you, Will. This is our.
Yeah, that's right. I'm back, bitch.
We got Will Wallace of Landfall guest starring again while Ollie's back in the UK.
Will Wallace, I thought his name literally was Fuck You, Will.
Oh, yeah. Well, you hear enough.
And our guests down here in Regina, we've got Birthday Cake Trebuchet. How are you guys doing?
Hey, what's up, fellas?
Topside wonderful.
Well, we've come to know you over the past 48 hours or so, but a lot of our listeners probably don't know who you are yet. So before we get going here, give us a quick rundown. Who is Birthday Cake Trebuchet?
My name's Landon. I am the singer and guitarist for Birthday Cake Trebuchet.
My name's Kevin Bazandowski, and I have a bass, and I'm allowed to be in Birthday Cake Trebuchet.
And I'm Rob Calavel. I'm the drummer, and my main job is just making sure Kevin's on time and doesn't say anything too stupid.
It's hard to keep a bass player on time.
And from sounding stupid.
Mm-hmm. How long have you guys been together?
Rob and I have been playing for about 6 years now.
Something like that.
Something like that. And then Bazzer joined us about 2 years in.
It's true.
We discovered that he had purchased a bass, and we said, "You're our bass player now."
I had 2 lessons in. I started doing lessons because my son was doing lessons at Long and McQuaid. So I figured instead of sitting on my phone waiting for his lessons, I would take bass lessons. Maybe do a Jackson 5 thing. The economy was tough.
Yeah.
It was COVID times. But they found out that I had a bass, so instant entry into the band. It's like being a goalie. If you have the equipment,
You're in.
can find it.
That's awesome.
Any thoughts on that, Will?
Or multiple teams.
Yeah, honestly, like if you have the equipment, you just get hired out by and sometimes corporations and stuff like that. And that's
I was just trying to be a jerk, but you've got a real answer.
Oh, he has a real answer for everything.
He really does.
Yeah, well, you probably have a house and I don't. So
Got him.
that's the real.
Just put the fries in the bag, bro.
Yeah, honestly.
Let's be clear. My wife has a house. And
You know what? That's also fair.
Well, we know you guys now. We love you guys now. But for God's sake, we got to talk about anything else than music today. So,
Sounds good, brother.
So, what is the topic that you guys are going to be discussing today?
We love Dungeons & Dragons. Some of us come from different eras of D&D. Some of us play current editions, but there's just been a love of fantasy tabletop role-playing games.
Well, you guys are in luck because somehow every time Will's on the pod, we end up talking about D&D.
Incredible.
This is, so I was episode 2 of this show back in season 1, and I don't know by what, Twilight Zone-esque sort of, nightmare fueled has just, established that every time I'm back on the show, we end up talking about D&D at some point.
And it's not even you
I'm
doing
cursed.
it. No, it's you don't even bring it up.
Yeah.
We could go to my other default. I suggested we test my knowledge of hardcore pornography. If you guys want to discuss that instead, I could probably go on for a while about that.
We'll leave that as a Patreon exclusive.
Yeah.
Sounds right.
So how often do you guys play D&D?
I play 2 weeks on, 2 weeks off. I work shift work. So every Sunday that I'm off, I play. And I've been playing for probably the last 8-9 years with the same groups of people.
Nice.
Yeah.
And Landon's, he's actually a pretty sought-after dungeon master. He runs the game, and he ends up doing a lot of the...
Are we still on D&D, or are we going to the hardcore pornography? I'm just curious.
We'll let the listeners
Whatever's your
decide that.
passion project, really.
Yeah, I do volunteer dungeon mastering for a group in town called... Oh boy, what is it called?
Dinner and Dragons.
That's the one.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, so I do that, and Rob and Kevin have both played at my table there. That's probably your guys' most recent.
Yeah, I needed a lot of walking through on that because it's been about 15 years since I used to play regularly. I came up as a kid on the original Dungeons & Dragons.
Nice.
And then
Oh, wow.
Spent a lot. Yeah, I'm an old man compared to probably everyone else in this room. And then I spent a lot of time. The biggest chunk of the time I played was on the second, the original AD&D set of rules.
Gotcha,
So-
yeah.
So,
Back
yeah.
when there was Thaco and that
Yeah,
kind of shit.
absolutely. Yeah,
Thaco.
totally, yeah. Two-hit armor class hero. You betcha. Yeah.
So actually, I guess that kind of on that note, what was your first edition of the game that you really got into? So we got AD&D.
Absolutely.
The first one I ever played was actually Pathfinder. And then after that, we transferred over to playing 5th edition. So I have never actually played any other edition.
Cool.
Yeah.
I was a hardcore. I was deceptively the same age as Rob. I just look a lot younger. But yeah, I was AD&D. You know, I was playing from probably 85 to 91, like hardcore. That was like, I would say the Renaissance almost. Like that was, we played almost every day after school. I remember getting off the school bus, going to my friend Clint's house. Everybody would meet there. We'd play till 5:30. You know, things were different then. Your parents didn't care where you were. And we just played D&D, and for years.
And that was the era too when like it got picked up by the media as like this satanic.
Satanic
like
panic.
we played through that era, right, when parents were losing their minds because their children were being corrupted by Dungeons and Dragons, and the American political system was politicizing it as a topic to.
Tom Hanks' first movie was about the dangers of Dungeons and Dragons.
Seriously?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
It was
Holy
like
shit,
Monsters
wait,
and
what?
Mazes. Monsters and Mazes. Don't quote me on it, although I'm on.
So guess what?
podcast.
You're getting quoted on this.
So, quote me on this, but Tom Hanks' first movie was a movie called Monsters and Mazes, which was the dangers of the satanic influence of D&D.
Right. And if you listened to heavy metal at that time while you were playing Dungeons and Dragons, you were
Extra hardcore.
You were for
Oh,
sure
yeah.
lost.
Yeah. So I still play now. I do occasional guest appearances on other people's D&D campaigns. I played in Dinners and Dragons, but mine's more of a, like a good wrestling dad or a good sports dad. I'm really pushing my kid into D&D, which is a really hard thing. So my son plays a younger kid's version. It's called Adventure Academy of Dinners and Dragons.
Yes,
Right.
yes.
And so, he's been really getting into it. It came from Adventure Time. He was watching the cartoon, and there was
That's
a
a good
D&D
show.
episode of the cartoon, and my son's like, hey, that'd be a really good premise for a game. And I said, really? Let me tell you. Gather around, son. Light the fireplace. We have some lore to tell you about.
Come along with me.
We'll get
No
copyright
music.
stricken.
I
We'll get
can't do
copyright
that.
stricken. So I guess the question that always inevitably comes up when we have people that talk D&D on here is, what's your guys' classes?
Oh man, my goal currently is to play everything at least once in some form of 10 sessions or more. Currently, I am playing a Divine Soul Sorcerer. We're playing in the Humblewood setting, so I'm a Gallus or a prairie chicken, essentially. We're all forest animals. And I am a Divine Soul Sorcerer who believes that she is a cleric.
That's sick.
Yeah.
I used to fairly consistently be a tank, just like a dumb fighter. Just take the lowest score you could get, drop it into int, and then have to make int saving throws constantly and fail them. It was always super fun ending up in these terrible situations.
What is that called when somebody gets put into the same role over and over again, like typecast because they play it so well?
Oh yeah.
So anyway,
Sorry, Kevin, if there's a point here, I didn't get it.
He failed his intelligence.
Right? Let me just see if I got that insult.
you know what? And like a good, not to get into music, but like a good bass player, I just play whatever's needed. So, I find myself playing cleric a lot, but normally as a cameo or, sort of a guest role, you sort of, whatever the campaign needs.
Yeah.
So you come in. But I find myself usually playing a cleric or a ranger.
Cleric's your go-to, Will, isn't it?
Oh yeah, like in the last campaign, I usually am dungeon master. Not even because I know there's a lot of talk about perma DMs and whatnot, but it's my preferred role. But every once in a while, I do like being a player. So I had a buddy from we knew each other in kindergarten, and then I switched schools and didn't see him again until we both started working at a mall in Saskatoon. Then we reconnected. He was running a game where I played a Warforged cleric, but it was so many of the D&D edition subclasses that came after the original release didn't have as much time in the oven for playtesting, so some of them are just funky busted.
Yeah.
And so I was playing this one where the sort of main feature of the cleric is that you can make your opponents weak, vulnerable to a specific kind of damage. So what I did is I was like, okay, necrotic, and then I just paired it with the fastest scaling damage dealing spell in the game, which is inflict wounds.
Yeah.
And so inflict wounds, I can basically guarantee a crit. Man, I'm a force to be reckoned with at level 5.
Was that Grave Cleric?
Yeah, Path to the Grave. That's correct. I think it was first released in Eberron. I love Eberron.
Oh, Eberron's so
cool. Actually, on that note, I kind of want to just So what I did with the character, what I thought would be really cool is that this character being a Warforged in that particular setting didn't have a lot of Warforged. So just the justifying it in world peace. This character was like created by a coven of witches, which is how he got this like crazy power to like. But I really like the idea, and we were actually talking about this at breakfast today before we even came down to Regina.
Yep.
We were talking about the idea of like a sorcerer who
Doesn't realize they're a sorcerer.
thinks that they're a wizard, but like when other people look at their spell books, it's just like scribbles and doodles. They think they're doing like hard study. So I wanted to maybe get a little bit more insight on the sorcerer who thinks they're a cleric piece, because that's a really like rich thematic thing to explore.
It's been very fun exploring the character. The entire idea of a divine soul sorcerer, for those that don't know, is it has the ability to take spells from the cleric spell list. So when I built my character level 1, I don't get any armor proficiency, but I do get full cleric spells. And so I treated her as if all she had was cleric spells, so everyone just thought she was a cleric. And the only difference is you get one extra cantrip at level 1. And then as she began to grow, and all of a sudden she had the ability to do meta magic and things like that, it became a question of what is this exactly? Who am I? And then you have that growth of a character from knowing who you are to realizing you're not who you're supposed to be, and kind of losing your home in that sense, where you grew up in the church because that's what you believed you were supposed to be, and now you have to step out and become someone else and have those conflicting emotions and worldview where religion isn't supporting you in the way that it was, because now you're not a part of it in the way that you thought you were.
Wait a second. Are all of our songs about D&D campaigns you've been having?
Pretty much. Yeah, pretty much.
Life imitates art.
Yeah.
We definitely write a lot of songs about identity, for sure. Yeah.
See, Dallas just plays a druid who doesn't realize druids suck and tries to be a fighter.
Hey, Circle of Stars Druid is so good. It is unhinged how good that.
Yeah, too bad he went Circle of the Moon and was all about wild shaping and then never fucking wild shapes. Except
turned into
outside of combat.
I turn into a wolf sometimes when needed.
Yeah, just for fun.
Yeah. Sometimes we're like a Shaggy and Scooby combo.
Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough.
Thanks.
Got a couple minutes? I want to lick myself.
So that's going to be your bonus
Kevin,
action.
we're in the middle of a podcast.
I figured they said it was, it wasn't going to be censored.
Man, so that's an excellent answer to that question. So I guess I'll just kind of open it up to the Ollie is, what is because that's what I play the game for, is that kind of stuff, the like storytelling, the collaborative aspect of it, where you get to like explore these rich themes through the lens of like fiction. What is the thing that like draws you to the game? What's the engine for you?
Well, it's funny. I'm not like super active in the game anymore. But one of the things that happens is Landon and I work together, and when he's running new games, we tend to discuss his plot points a lot, and we'll run through, like not the mechanics of the game, but maybe the direction of the game, and he'll bounce ideas off me. And of course, obviously, it's his stuff, but. Does this work? Does that work? Where do you think this will go? So it's kind of fun. Like I say, I'm not super active anymore, but I do get to enjoy the game from the perspective of like hearing Landon's plans for his games beforehand and discussing almost more like the social impact within the structure of the game than the game itself, right? So it's kind of fun that way.
I love the story aspects of D&D. To me, it's so enriching to see people be able to play out social experiences from a different perspective than what they could have, putting themselves into someone else's shoes and experiencing that. So I love story, and I love the way I do it as a DM is I call it the surrounding method, where I will let you go anywhere you want, but there's always going to be pieces of plot that'll lead you towards something that will be bigger and bolder and force you to grow.
Interesting. Mine was a little different. Again, this was the 80s. I was a little bit of an outsider. Back then, it was all sports ball. If you didn't play sports ball, there was nothing for you. So as a group of guys that, weren't into sports and really weren't that good at sports, D&D sort of gave us, a community.
Yeah.
So there was this game here, and it was brand new. It was on the edge. It was a little bit of an outlaw thing.
Sure it was.
So, all your friends got together and you sort of did this thing. And it was about character building, but a lot different because, of course, a lot of our rules were homebrew because you couldn't find the books. I was growing up in Swift Current. You weren't just able to go down to, your local store and grab, all the books you wanted. So a lot of it was things that we made up. And so we felt that even though D&D was the basis, we were putting a lot of rules into it, and we were inventing our own game and making our own sort of, world out there. So for us, it was fantastic. And a lot of the things there, we had, your Conan the Barbarian, we had some movies, but there was a whole world that we could create that we didn't have to worry about stepping on toes or borrowing. So it was all open for us. Well, there were simpler times.
That open-endedness of it was what made the game catch on in the first place, right? That the almost the lack of rules, right?
Yeah.
Like you could do anything with it you wanted to do. I mean, you still can, right? But it was so open then, and like you said, it was.
Well, and for us, like, they talk about, this Circle of the Moon Druid or this. For us, Druid that was crazy. It was cleric, you were a
fighter, mage, or thief.
You were
back then. It was thief. They were the rogue class was. It was their four.
And
classes.
you were playing a dwarf, an elf, a human, or a halfling.
You could sneak in the half orc.
Yeah.
Wasn't it originally that they had the character, the race from the Lord of the Rings, but then the Tolkien estate shut it down?
Yeah. There was a lot of battles originally. I'm not sure about all the history of that, but yeah.
Because I think originally you could play as a hobbit, one of the first races.
Yep. Well, man, so much of D&D's development was the kind of marriage between like pulp fantasy, the kind of like pulp fantasy novels first of all, but also like there was a kind of before superhero comics became a thing. There were the like Tales of the Weird and all that kind of stuff. So there was a lot of that sort of influenced the sort of early D&D. But yeah, it was the marriage between that and like the Lord of the Rings and all that kind of like high fantasy stuff.
All right.
Yeah. Well, what do you say, Dallas? Do you think we should move on to some more regular segments here?
Yes, but I'll have a question for them.
Oh, yeah, right. Yeah, so the reason we do this podcast is, first of all, it gives us an excuse to hang out. That's kind of the main reason we do it. Second reason we do it is because Dallas, he's a great audio tech, but he doesn't really have much education beyond that. He's kind of a simple man. And so this lets him interact with people that are experts in things that he may not know much about. So, Dallas, do you have any questions for our D&D experts today?
Now, I know this is out of character moment because I usually ask a wrestling question, but I actually am curious about this. What's your go-to snack when you do D&D?
That's a good question.
Yeah.
For the first time ever.
Legitimately, yeah. Good job, man.
I make incredible popcorn. My wife loves popcorn. I spent 4.5 years testing different styles of homemade popcorn until it got to the point where, and this is very braggy, people consider it better than movie theater popcorn.
Oh, yeah.
I can verify that. Like I said, we work together. He brings it in for night shifts at work, and everybody goes crazy.
It's so good. I'm
it's
also
movie theater popcorn plus.
absolutely blessed to have someone who loves baking at my table. And last week we had lemon squares. Right? And there are times where he'll just send like a poll to our D&D chat where it'll just be 4 fruits. And you just pick one, and then he shows up with something baked with that.
That's kind of like
awesome.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah.
If I could just interject here, the plural of fruit is fruit, Landon. Jesus.
Did I say fruits?
You did.
Yeah.
Well, is it like fish, though? If you have multiple different fish, then it's fishes.
fishes,
And then if it's multiple of the same fish,
just
it's
fish.
fish.
No.
It's like cactus.
Well, you heard it here first. We're also going to quote you on that.
It's like
You can.
cactus and cacti.
Right. Sure.
Cactus
yeah.
Jack.
Yeah.
Yeah. There you go. There you go.
Now, I'm a straight up Cool Ranch Dorito guy.
Valid.
They give me heartburn every time, but I don't give a shit. No, it's worth it.
No pain, no pleasure.
Right.
Emmett and I, as guest stars in campaigns, we usually, and part of the father-son thing, and, of course, you always, I won't say you always bribe your kids to do things you like and encourage them, but we always would go to the convenience store, and I would say, okay, for the group, because you're going to buy, because you're a guest, you're going to buy a salty, a sweet, a gummy, and a drink. So, me personally, I'm a gummy bear all the time. Gummy bears.
Love gummy bears,
That's the pinnacle of snacking.
Any of what we used to call the 5-cent candies, those are all good.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The blue whale. I miss the blue whales, man. I miss the blue whales, the good
You
ones.
ever had the
Old man.
teeth?
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
those are good.
Good stuff. The Red Hots.
The shark
Red
teeth.
Hots are classic.
Yeah.
Well, the first of our regular segments here that we're going to expose you to is a crowd favorite and very much an Ollie favorite. But this time I've got the name for you. This segment's called Who Dis? So I'm going to give you the name of a person. This is a real person. I'm not expecting you to know who this person is. I want you to tell me who you think this person is just based off of their name. So this week, your Who Dis is Dick Fitz.
Oddly enough, I know who Dick Fitz is.
Oh,
You
seriously?
should start.
Yeah,
You answer before I make a fool of myself.
Please tell us what Mr. Fitz is like.
Well, Mr. Fitz actually was from the old country. He was actually a Fritz. He was actually German. He actually came across with my grandfather, and they settled in the Hodgeville area. And he actually became a plumber, a world-renowned plumber from the Hodgeville area. I actually knew his cousin, Jacob Fitz, but we've lost touch since. So that's who I think Dick Fitz is.
Kevin, that is Boulder Dash.
I thought we were playing Boulder Dash.
Dick Fitz, better known as Richard Fitz, is the actual first and last name of legendary poet and lost American soul Edgar Allan Poe.
Oh,
Is that true?
so Edgar Allan Poe was just a pen name then. So his actual
Not
real
Bloom,
name
his
was
real name
Dick
is
Fitz.
Richard Fitz.
Guys are
Richard
fucking great
Fitz.
at this segment.
Didn't the Ravens say Dick Fitz?
Go with the Raven.
Dick Fitz.
All right, well, quote the Landon. Who's Dick Fitz?
I'm terrible at this game.
The answer could have been just mine.
Yeah.
Who's Dick Fitz?
You should have said I am.
That's me.
Yeah, I guess you could break the tie if you feel
I
so
feel like it's got to be
inclined.
a porn moniker, right? Like
How can I?
Yeah,
how can
right.
it not be? That name is just
Like Jack Magenta.
Mwah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I feel like Dick
Starring
Fitz
Jack
has to be
Magenta
some
and
type
Dick
of porn
Fitz.
star.
You guys want to know who Dick Fitz actually is?
Yes, please.
So Richard Fitz, or as he's kind of known nowadays as Dick Fitz, is a young up-and-coming pitcher for the Boston Red Sox.
Amazing. I love it.
Unknown. Sports ball.
They also had another guy. He's played for so many teams because he's old as shit and he's had a massive long career. Another guy whose nickname was Dick Mountain. His name was Richard Hill. Everybody calls him Dick Mountain.
Yes, you would. As you would.
That's great.
So moving on, this next segment's called Brush with Fame. So from any of you, or all three of you, what is your most boring celebrity story? Like, who's a celebrity you saw getting off a bus somewhere? Or
I actually have a fairly good one here. My dad works in film, and
Oh, that's a good start. It's a good start to your anecdote when your friends start laughing at you.
I'm just going to leave this one because I've already interrupted him.
My dad, Dick Fitz.
my dad, Dick Fitz, works in film. My dad works in film. He has a dog. He takes his dog to set sometimes, and they were out in the parking lot one day, and another dog comes off set and goes up to play with him. And my dad's not really paying attention. They're hanging out in the yard. And the guy comes up beside him, the owner, and he says, "Hey, do you mind if my dog plays with yours?" And he goes, "Oh, yeah, it's fine." And he turns around and he sees Elijah Wood. Who is on a different set doing a movie. And he's like, "Yeah, I just don't really have the chance to get him out much. I really appreciate it." And Dad's like, "Oh, yeah, totally, cool." And like for like a week straight, whenever he had a break, he would come and be like, "Hey, do you want to come let your dog hang out with my dog?" And that's what they did.
This sounds as made up as my Dick Fitz.
Also, we said boring.
Yeah, I got a great.
I feel like that's
I got a
it's
great
mundane.
boring.
It's mundane.
I got a super great boring one for you.
I will outbore you. Go ahead.
Okay.
No.
Challenge accepted.
You always got a one up, even if it's to be the bottom
We
of the
got
pile.
a one down.
One down you.
One down.
race to the bottom.
Okay, so a buddy and I went to Los Angeles one time to catch a concert, and we just happened to be walking down the street. Guy walks around the corner at us. It's David Arquette.
Nice.
He's smoking a little tiny cigarello, and he just walked past us. Is that boring enough?
And
That's a good image.
as Dallas will know, I need to take this opportunity because this man was brought up to remind everybody this is former WWE champion David Arquette.
WCW, actually.
My bad.
Kevin, can you underdo me
I
on that?
so wish we caught that one.
I will try. I was in New York City with my lovely wife, and we ate at a little Soho restaurant, and I'm going to get the name wrong. She was an X-Men fan. What was her name? Famke?
Famke Janssen?
Famke Janssen was just at the table right across from us, just kitty corner.
Damn, that's awesome.
Shit, dude.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
And she did not
Mine was
offer to
stellar.
pay.
Mine was stellar. Yours was almost exciting. I mean, Famke Janssen's at least nice to look at. David Arquette.
We'll ask
Congratulations, Rob, on being the most boring.
We'll ask the audience what they think is the most mundane.
Adam
story.
Beidle, give us a comment and let us know.
Is that the one guy that was at the show? And
That was another different Adam.
That's a different Adam. There's
thought it was
so
an
many
Adams
Adams in Saskatoon.
I thought that was an Adam.
Too many Adams. This next segment here is called Master of Jack. So all three of you here, what is your most useless skill?
Oh.
Useless skill.
That is an excellent
That
question.
is an
Kevin,
excellent.
useless skill.
You know what? The problem is I have a plethora of useless skills. Like at one point, and this is again going back to the 80s, there used to be a big thing about putting coins on your elbow and then catching
How
them.
big a stack can you do?
Exactly. I was in that 15-20 range. Like,
Holy.
That is
If I give you a
Shit,
coin
that
right
is
now, would
useless.
you
I would give it a try. You got to remember, this was from the 80s, so.
Okay.
But this was, I think it was a Happy Days
You
thing.
know what kind of
This
know
is
what?
going to
I'll
cut
start
so good for TikTok.
Dude,
Yeah.
coin purse brother.
So back in the day, you used to put,
I gotta show you something.
God.
I gotta show you something.
He's rusty. He's rusty.
Dude, look at that thing.
I gotta show you something cool in a
What
second.
is happening right now?
No, you guys compare
do
coin
your
purses.
thing. We're
You guys
doing
pull out
fine
your
over
coin
here.
purses and compare them.
Don't worry about me and Dallas.
We'll
We're
put up
fine.
some black lines so you guys can pull out your coin purses.
Have you
Lost in the
seen
sauce.
this? It's the black coin for when the queen died.
Oh, that's
Black
sick,
Panther.
actually. I did see a couple of those.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to show you the giant coin I carry around.
Oh my god, this is
Look at that thing.
So is it the
That's-
case
what
that there's
the
a
fuck
bizarre
is that?
person, there's
EMS
just like an
EMS
exact
challenge
opposite
coin.
from the
Oh
either
shit, I don't
side?
have mine. Don't ask me for drink.
It's like the Shelbyville Springfield thing. You guys are like the Saskatoon version of us. Like there's two coin purses.
Nice.
Huh.
Yeah, that's my EMS challenge coin. Technically, right now, I can present this to Landon, and if he doesn't have his on him, he has to buy me a drink. And I know he doesn't have it on him, so I'm going to put it away.
That's it.
All right, show us your coin trick.
Okay, so I don't know if it came from the Happy Days, and again, my BMI has gotten a lot higher since then. So
Yeah, you
my,
got super fat elbows, dude.
yeah, my elbows are probably pretty fat.
And
Damn,
you used
bro.
to stack them up as high as you could and try and get them all.
Take that.
That was smooth.
That was very smooth.
All right.
Still got it. Still got that useless talent.
My useless skill is actually more of an annoying skill.
Sure.
I'm like a super corrector, as you probably just heard me correcting Landon on his grammar. I have a degree in English for which I've never used for anything except for maybe writing.
You could roll it up and smoke it.
and correcting everyone I know, and they fucking hate me for it. And I
We
still
hate
do it.
you. I think it's more of a pity thing.
Let me correct you on that.
Yeah. I have a degree in urban planning. I might roll up that. and
Yeah,
do
there you go.
this.
I always used to tell my
420's
profs
tomorrow, so.
they hated it, but I always used to tell my profs like English 100 should be a weightlifting class. So you're strong enough to do the jobs the degree will get you.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Like I'm going to be working in a warehouse. Maybe I should be strong enough to do that.
You get English 100 and forklift certified?
Right? Exactly. Perfect.
Useless talents. I am very good at juggling.
Oh yeah, that's not useless.
that's
You're
useful.
awesome at it. Yeah.
I'm also weirdly good at one arcade game, piano tiles.
Okay.
There's four keys, and you just hit them as they go down.
Yeah.
I worked at a movie theater, and there was one of those big ass piano keys right across from the box office, and it was so loud. And I hear it
Traumatized
every day.
by it.
I'm traumatized by the sound.
I just brought back PTSD. I currently have the record right now at the Chuck E. Cheese in Regina.
How do you get in without a kid?
I thought
Are you like,
I have a godson.
I guess, okay.
Oh, can we hit up Chuck E. Cheese tomorrow?
No.
But we need to have a conversation, like for real. We need to, when we get in the car, we're gonna like we need to have the Santa's not real conversation.
All right. Well, I think it's time to move on to probably everybody's favorite segment. This is what a lot of people listen to the pod for. This is Are You Smarter Than Dallas Outsider? That's new.
Is that the theme music?
It is now,
I love
guess.
it.
Yeah.
So in this segment, you guys are going to be going up against Dallas here in a game of Trivial Pursuit. I'm going to ask 5 questions. If you guys don't get it or want to pass, Dallas will get his try,
So
and it's best of 5.
All three of us
All
against
3 of
Dallas.
us. Last time we had more than one guest, Dallas got destroyed by the entire Aaron Ball Band, best country band in Idaho.
It's 3 against 1.
Yes, now it's 3 against 1. I'll ask quickly before Landon gets back so that it's just like, oh, he's back. You're fine.
We'll filibuster. We'll just
All right. So, gentlemen, your first question here is, What animal's introduction into the U.S. cavalry is the subject of the 1976 TV movie Homps?
Now, just to
Gotta be the
make
camel,
this
right?
fair, we're only going to accept one answer from you.
Oh,
Yes.
don't worry. We have a vocalist. We just have a spokesperson. So the rhythm section
You
will get
tell
together.
me what to say.
Cool. All right.
Okay, we're going in with camel.
It is a camel. So you're one down, Dallas. Pick it up. What fraction of the day does the typical cow spend chewing?
They're cud.
Chewing. It has to be like what fraction of the day?
I'm gonna say like probably it's got to be at least half. Right?
I would say half.
I would say 3/5.
Whoa,
That's too specific.
It's a fraction, you guys.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah, well,
too
there's
specific.
a lot of fractions.
It's gonna
We
be
can
like
say-
half or 3/4.
Yeah, we can
Like,
say like 97/240ths, but that's not going to be like it's a fraction. But let's just go with like a half.
I say
Alright,
either half or
alright,
3/4.
Half the day. Half the day.
Half incorrect. Dallas?
3/4.
It's 3/4. I know it. 1-1. All right. What is the
Careful, Dallas. We're bad losers.
You would know. This is good. Good job, Dallas. That was good.
what is the minimum distance in yards of an organized unicycle race?
Oh, for God's sake.
100.
100?
Although it's minimum.
50?
Unicycle race.
Like 10 yards is a first down. That's not enough.
No.
You know,
What's up with this
a good
shit?
guy could
I
fall
don't
down
know.
for 10 yards.
Yeah.
I was
Crazy
gonna
people?
say I feel like
I feel 30, 50,
Minimum.
or 100. Somewhere in there. You guys decide. I'm also going to tell you my not so useless technique or my talent is jujitsu and being a sore loser.
It's all true.
let's say 50.
50.
50.
50.
100.
It's 100.
It is 100.
We're just feeding them answers.
Question 4. How many mules are in a 20 mule team?
How many mules in a 20 mule?
This is a weird question.
It
What
clearly
the
can't be
fuck
20.
does that even
Well,
mean?
Can you repeat the question?
It clearly
How
can't
many,
be 20
mule,
or it
how many
clearly isn't.
mules are in a 20 mule team?
I'm going to say it doesn't.
You know what? I know little mules.
Fuck it, we ball. 20 or 50, 12. 12.
It's not 12. Dallas?
20.
It's not 20. It's 18.
I knew it was going to be something weird.
All right.
That man
going
is
to be-
2
I'm
mules
Googling
short
that
of a
later to
20
learn.
mule train.
There you go. That would be 16.
Also, hi, Brock.
Yeah, also, hi, Brock. Welcome, Brock Nielsen, to the podcast.
We need this one to tie.
Yeah.
Alrighty. What was the nautical term larboard changed to by British Admiralty order in 1844?
One of
What
the
the
ports.
fuck?
It had to be.
What the fuck
Starboard
does
and
that
Larboard
even
and
mean?
larboard, so it's probably port.
We're going with port.
It's port.
Hey!
So now we're going to need a tiebreaker.
Oh, I thought we wrestled for the tie.
All three of us went down. Let's go.
All right. We're going to go
Please
with...
don't be biased.
well, we're
Like
going to
you
go with
did
a
last
yes or
time.
no.
Okay,
I'm
fine.
going to give them a 50-50
Okay, that was-
shot here.
Yes. Okay, that
Whoa,
that's
but
fine.
that means he automatically gets it. We don't want a 50-50.
Wait. Let's just take the scale out of the equation. Let's answer before we ask the question.
Sounds good.
Ooh.
The first option, yes. We're answering yes to whatever your question is.
It's yes.
Gamblers!
Putting my luck against
Do we
you.
hear the question now or no?
The question was, is a hockey goaltender allowed to play with a broken stick?
Oh, I knew the answer to that. For 30 years,
It's much cooler than we answered blind.
I just about screwed us on that for no reason.
No. It's better than we played it blind.
Wow.
Goal for
Gamblers.
30 years.
Well, congratulations, birthday cake Trebuchet. You guys collectively are smarter than Dallas Outsider.
That was a close call.
That was a close call.
Or are we just too bravado, just answering questions without
Actually, we're even, and we're a little luckier.
So now
Plus one luck.
we're gonna move on to what are called our quick fire questions. So I'm gonna ask you kind of 10 questions. These are mainly just to kind of get a psychological profile on
good
you,
God.
in case the FBI comes a knocking something.
Sociopath. Yeah, you should leave. Yeah.
In one film, what constitutes the best and the worst Nick Cage movie?
the best.
Face off.
Well,
Yeah.
we can't have quick fire. Con Air is also on there. Face Off, Con Air.
Those are two
going-
solid answers.
Yeah.
If we go too far, we walk down the oven into your path.
well,
So
or-
let's be careful.
Yeah. I'm a cat. I'm a sexy cat.
Let's just go with Face Off.
Yeah.
Face.
Right? It's
Hell
right
yeah.
there.
Nobody said face off yet. I appreciate it.
Cool.
If you could put a CSI in any city, what would you choose?
Moose Jaw. CSI Moose Jaw.
Yeah, or Yorkton.
The answer's always the tunnels. The murder was in the tunnels.
I think
The child was hiding in the tunnels.
If it doesn't have
The
to
smuggling
be,
was in the tunnels.
if it doesn't
CSI Moose Jaw.
if it doesn't have to be city, if it's city, we're gonna go with Moose Jaw. Town, I either say urine or Siemens.
Climax.
CSI Climax.
You guys are so cynical. Let's make it love.
With Jack Magenta. CSI Climax.
And Dick Fitz.
What,
You guys are quick.
what is the best ice cream flavor?
Collectively or individually?
Go individually.
We'll go in a row.
Oh, as a sociopath, it's mint chip ice cream.
Oh my
Yes.
God.
Wow.
What is wrong?
Yes.
I agree.
Sociopath as well.
I agree.
Mint has no place
fuck.
in sweets. You guys
No.
are psychos.
No. And if you want to get crazy, because I'm going to go down this, which we should have actually scrapped this D&D shit. Let's talk about mint chip ice cream.
I was actually talking about in the car earlier. The reason I like mint
shit.
chocolate ice cream is because I just don't like sweets in general, and mint is the only thing that doesn't.
That's why you eat
is
ice
not
cream.
Sweet.
But there's also and you're going to correct me because you're that guy. But when you eat mint chip ice cream, there's a crunch factor to it. There's a
It feels refreshing.
Texture, yeah.
and it's tactical.
That's the taste of failure and defeat. That's
So it's not tactical, it's tactile.
Yeah.
And now I'm stealing Rob's
Yeah.
bit.
right.
But they used to have, you younger folk may not remember, but there's like a Chapman's version. So now you get the mint chip or you get the mint chunk. But back in the day, they used to have these mini actual chocolate chips.
We are so far away from rapid fire right now.
Yeah.
What do you two guys think? Best ice cream flavor?
Peanut butter chocolate chip.
Okay, I also agree with that one.
Peanut butter does not belong in ice cream
Yes,
or
it
with
does.
sweets. It's
Peanut
rum
butter
raisin.
belongs
What
in
are you
ice
gonna
cream
do
just
there,
as much
Vanilla?
as mint
Rum
chocolate.
raisin.
Raisin and rum belong in ice cream, but not peanut butter and chip.
I will fight. I will bite your face right here on the podcast.
As long as you're close to me, that's all
What
I need.
a Richard Hill to die on. All right.
Planes, trains, or automobiles?
Automobiles all the way.
Planes.
Trains.
Wow.
Excellent. Let's keep going.
What is the best soda?
Diet Dr. Pepper or Dr. Pepper Zero.
Oh,
Swamp.
interesting.
Rob is half right. Dr. Diet Pepper Cherry Vanilla.
They don't make that.
I like that.
Anymore, but it doesn't matter that it's not the
A
best.
flavor that exists in your head.
It wasn't in the
doesn't
question, rapid fire.
count. Mint chip soda? Is that it? Mint chip soda? Sociopath.
Sounded like strange. You're sure derailing.
And Rob.
What's something that feels illegal but isn't?
Masturbating on a plane.
It's called hijacking.
That was quick.
Mile High Club all by yourself.
Quick, too.
The 1 man mile high.
You've been waiting for someone to say that or something. Like you had
That was
Just so fast.
so good.
Well, I guess I know what your tweet's going to be.
Eating snacks that you are going to buy while walking through the grocery store.
What's the question again? Rapid fire.
something that feels illegal but isn't.
Throwing your kid's shit out and then lying to him and saying you don't know where it is. Sorry, Emmett.
What is your favorite small town?
Siemens urine.
Any particular reason?
I'm really partial to a small town called Pontex.
Sweet.
I spent a little time in a tiny German town called Mittenwald. It has a cable car to the highest part of the world in the Alps. You can look all the way around the world and see everything you want to see. Tiny little town, beautiful.
That's like a legitimately good answer.
I like that.
Favorite card in a deck of cards?
Duh, the Ace of Spades were rockers. Come on.
Got that one a
Don't say
couple
it, Alex.
times.
Don't say it.
I won't.
I've always liked tens, and my favorite suite is clubs.
Sweet.
What's your favorite suit?
Whoa!
Oh, that's a very good point. Birthday clubs.
Birthday suit.
And did you have an answer?
I didn't. I was going to go with King of Hearts, but it's all good. Bless you.
Sweet.
Sure.
What is the best tool?
Dick fits.
It's the table saw. You can use the table saw to do anything.
Excellent.
Screwdriver for me.
Crescent wrench. It's all the tools.
So
You
many,
need a hammer? Crescent wrench.
so many answers that aren't hammer. Thank you all.
Crescent wrench could be a hammer.
I'm a woodworker, so it's going to be a saw.
And our final.
Jacking off doesn't make you a woodworker.
Well, you're working the wood.
Hijacker.
Well, you're working on the wood.
Exactly.
since we're just voices, you couldn't hear the finger quotes when I said woodworker. So.
Yeah.
If this episode isn't named "Jerking It" with fucking birthday
Straight
cake
jorking it
trebuchet,
with-
yeah, "Jorking It" with birthday cake trebuchet.
Which is a whole different video. You may have some copyright.
And honestly, just in case it ever gets there, I'm sorry, Mom.
And our final quick fire question: aliens? Question mark.
Yes.
2, please.
Sweet.
Delicious on a large sub bun.
Heard
All right.
chef.
So this is my personal favorite segment this season. It's one of my kind of anti-segments, I guess you could say. This segment's called "Do You Want This?" I've got with me. I found these the other day in my house. They go on wine glasses.
I do want that.
You do want this?
I want that.
Excellent.
My wife is a big wine drinker. I want that.
Well, this has been "Do You Want This?"
All right. Guys, I won. Do you want this?
Don't you want me, baby?
Aaron, I'm coming home with some wine glass stuff for you.
Your first game show win.
Right?
Okay, so we're moving on to a segment called "Who Said It" now. So I am going to give you 2 tweets. So I'm going to give you a tweet from Dallas over here, and I'm going to give you a tweet today. Who's my tweet from today?
Azalea Banks.
Right, yes, Azalea Banks. So you're going to have to tell me who said it between
Who the
Azalea
hell is
Banks
Azalea
and
Banks?
Dallas.
Musician.
All right.
So who
Again,
said it,
okay.
Dallas or Azalea Banks? I think I'm ready to admit that I'm extremely fat phobic towards men, especially fat white men. A fat white man is my worst nightmare.
Jeez, I hope it wasn't Dallas. I'm sitting right here.
Seems like Dallas may have some bones to
me
pick.
too.
Got a lot of fat white men in the room, Dallas. That better not have been you. I'm gonna say Azalea, my good buddy, my change purse buddy Dallas would never say something like that.
It was not Dallas.
All right.
This next tweet was this Dallas or Azalea Banks.
Oh, it goes on. I like this.
Is
They
that
hate
something
us.
about hijacking?
They hate us because they anus. Hashtag poetry.
That's
Dallas.
No, that's not Dallas. That's not Dallas.
It was me.
This next segment, this is called Gun to Your Head. So with Gun to Your Head, I'm going to give you a situation. You're going to have to pick which one of the hosts here you would rather have with you in this situation. So today, this is a bit topical because, we had a bit of a day with Dallas today. Gun to your head, which host would you want to have you to give you a tour around Regina?
Keeping in mind that none of us live here.
Right. Well, I mean, it seems like Dallas and I have the most in common, so that's where I'm going.
You're gonna have a great
I
time.
think so, buddy. It feels right. You know what? You want to skip this show? And just
I was gonna say 2 kids currently not supervising children together at Chuck E. Cheese.
sounds right.
Okay.
I think you might have some issues with Dallas, especially with his sense of direction and just making up places he thinks he's been. Because today
Just tell
we
me.
got here.
Yeah, you guys somehow managed to pick actually the only incorrect answer.
we arrived in Regina today at about like 3:30, and we're like, okay, we got some time before load in. What do you want to do? In Dallas for like past couple weeks, he's been hyping up this place in Regina that I'd never heard of. He's like, yeah, it's an arcade mixed with a bar, and like Will was like, oh yeah, I could go for some tacos today. And Dallas like, yeah, it has tacos too. It's got like all these different things.
You're
And I'm
talking
like-
about ballers.
And I'm just like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then like, that's what we thought. And then he's like, no, that's not it. And then we drove around and around looking for
bones?
this mystical place. It turns out Dallas just combined about 4 different businesses that he somewhat vaguely remembered
You can
seeing
also get your
signs
passport
for.
renewed there.
Well, so Ballers was on that list, but they're currently shut down because
Yeah.
of construction.
Yeah.
Right.
Along.
If you like
Doobie.
pinball, Pile of Bones has pinball and tacos and beer.
Well, fuck me, man. I could.
You should have called.
Yeah.
And so then as we were walking to go and grab something to eat at Bushwhackers, he sees the rebellion sign in the distance. He's like, oh yeah, see tacos. I was right, guys. And we're like, fuck you, man. That's a different place.
There's no video games there. Beer and tacos. You got 2 out of 3, which Meatloaf would say is not bad, but that's not 100% correct.
And our last of our regular segments today, this is called Secret Time. So what we used to do in Secret Time was I'd give you 4 secrets and you'd have to assign them to each of us and things like that. We've simplified it now. I'm going to give you 1 secret and you have to decide which host this secret belongs to.
Boy.
Which one of the hosts regularly has to mix their own antifreeze?
Whoa. Is that something anyone should be doing?
And has had to mix that said antifreeze in Brock's bathroom after a practice one time.
I feel like it's got to be you.
It is not me.
Oh,
It's Will.
It was me the whole time, Austin.
The call's coming from inside the house.
Yeah, so my car doesn't work very well at all. Basically, so it was an import when it was like new and fun and beautiful. It used to be like a really nice soft top convertible Sebring. But now it's a piece of shit, and the hydraulics and the roof don't even work, so it's not even a convertible. It's just leaky. Every system is leaky.
don't forget cold.
Yeah, so now I have to regularly mix my own antifreeze because it's cheaper than buying the premix stuff.
I was gonna say in vast quantities in a tub.
Yeah.
Yeah, yep.
Like honestly, you can make bathtub gin. It may be the same.
You know what? That's actually a good point. I hadn't considered that.
Ain't so bad. You make sangria in the turling.
How much time before the show? We got to cook, Will. Well, thanks you guys for being part of the podcast today. It was really fucking hilarious having you on.
fun.
At the end here, so the veil is lifted on music. You can talk about music now. Do you have any shout outs? Anything you want to promote?
We're doing a show actually coming up June 5th with Excuses, and Clover right over here on this big stage. And then after that, we're just back in the studio. We dropped an EP earlier this month. Nope, last month, March 1st. You can check that out, streaming anywhere that your heart desires. It's called Sweet Teeth.
Sweet.
Nice.
And then we're also playing a show in like about an hour. Little
I figured
late
this
for
will
you
come
guys.
out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right?
If you're a time traveler, please come back in time and watch our show.
Ooh, yeah, that's a good one.
I like that.
Hey, Brock, you're here. Do you want to say anything?
Hello?
Riveting stuff.
Riveting from Brock Dilson.
Legend.
All right, well, this has been the Anything Else podcast. Make sure you like and subscribe to us. You can find us anywhere that you stream your podcasts. Make sure you follow the Instagram. Subscribe to the Patreon because we've got a lot of wacky crap on there. Dallas and I have some good stuff in the pipeline, I think, for that. So, yeah, make sure you subscribe so you can keep abreast of that.
For the record, I just now discovered you were filming.
And sorry to Adam Beidle, we ran out of time. We'll get you next time, buddy. Yeah, thanks, and we'll see you again next time.
Right,
good
Chris,
night,
I'm going to go
everyone.
take a piss.